when your PR tour lands you a little skit, a great skit on South Park. Signs with them going through all these countries saying privacy, privacy, and everybody just the disdain for them.
Say that your Instagram-loving twife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving twife has always wanted her privacy.
You tell me, is it over for them in terms of their hopes for being the next influencers here in the United States?
Picture the self-proclaimed champions of privacy barreling onto comedy. Central's most notorious stage-only to watch two paper-cutout caricatures march down a boulevard screaming for solitude while fireworks explode overhead, spelling out their names. South Park's episode The Worldwide Privacy Tour didn't just lampoon Harry and Meghan. It reduced years of carefully curated branding to a single cymbal crash outside Kyle Broflovski's house. Overnight, memes morphed into new, and the Sussexes' moral high ground shrank to a postage stamp. In New York, Megyn Kelly cued the DVR, rewound the biggest laughs, and began recording what would become 8 blistering minutes of verbal napalm and analysis, so sharp, even habitual. Royal detractors winced. She parsed every frame, laughed at every contradiction, then loaded her commentary onto YouTube, where it detonated in real time. The moment felt electric. Mainstream satire meeting no-nonsense punditry, each amplifying the other into an online supertour. Buckle up, because the next few minutes will reshape every think piece the Duchess drops, shred every soft-focused brand photo, and leave you re-examining the entire Sussex media machine. And if you value the insomnia-fueled rabbit holes it takes to connect, Comedy Central Nielsen logs with ArcuWall trademark filings. Smash that subscribe button now. It funds the late-night caffeine runs, so you can sip piping hot tea without burning a finger. Back in 2020, Harry and Meghan's Netflix mega deal whispered to be worth a dropping $100 million felt like a coronation of their post-palace narrative. 2 docuseries, 1 6-hour confessional, and a Spotify implosion later. Public goodwill hovered near freezing. Cue South Park. On the 15th of February 2023, Season 26, Episode 2 premiered, planting the Prince and Princess of Canada in a whistle-stop crusade for privacy that looks suspiciously like a book tour, complete with giant banners of their tear-stained faces. Same-night ratings smashed Comedy Central's 4-year record. Paramount Plus in Canada reported to service hiccups from user overload, and hashtag worldwide privacy tour eclipsed hashtag spare on X global trending tab before sunrise. The cultural joke was clear. If you sign 8-figure contracts to overshare, you forfeit the luxury of silence. Suddenly, the biggest risk to the Sussex brand wasn't British tabloids or royal courtiers. It was cartoon Canadians with a bugle. Satire travels faster than PR rebuttals. Within 48 hours, TikTok creators looped the cartoons, "Stop looking at us," chant beneath influencer routines, gym mirror selfies, and even cat videos. A mid-level marketing analyst built a Google Trends dashboard, comparing South Park Meghan to every spike in Sussex news since the Oprah sit-down. The cartoon peak beat them all by a solid margin. Reaction channels clipped the episode into top 10 savage moments, raking in ad revenue that dwarfed the Sussexes' own YouTube uploads. Mainstream outlets followed the data. CNN did a segment on celebrity oversaturation. The Atlantic ran a 2,500-word essay titled "The Paradox of the Privacy Mogul." Even Buckingham Palace, famous for never complain, never explain, fielded press queries at the morning briefing. Proof the gag reached Westminster faster than an official briefing note. For the first time, indifference, not outrage, defined public response. Audiences weren't furious with Harry and Meghan. They were laughing at the absurdity of the spectacle. Enter Megyn Kelly, whose pivot from cable news bruiser to podcast titan has turned righteous ire into a profitable art form. 48 hours post-terror date, she hosted National Review's Jim Jarity and Michael Brendan Doherty for a roundtable. Roundtable hardly captures the fireworks. Kelly freeze-framed the cutout Duchess, waving her privacy placard, then panned to a slow-motion montage of Meghan on Oprah, Meghan in the cut, Meghan on archetypes. "This isn't a slip, this is their entire business model," she growled, accusing the couple of monetizing grievance under a halo of humanitarian virtue. Listeners loved it. Her 8-minute monologue sprinted past 3 million YouTube views in 5 days, beating the official trailer for the Sussexes' own Netflix doc. Comment sections exploded with digital popcorn emojis and jokes riffing on Kelly's refrain, "If South Park dumps you in their Ben, no PR firm can shovel you out." The clip didn't just critique, it fused satire with commentary, forging a two-front assault that made standard tabloid snark look quaint. Numbers became the story. In the month after the broadcast, Nielsen's SVOD panel showed the South Park episode snagging more 18 to 34-year-olds US viewers than any single part of the 6-hour Sussex Netflix doc. An irony that marketing textbooks will cite for years. YouTube's algorithm favored reaction content over original Sussex footage at a ratio of 6-1. Reddit's Our Pop Culture posted side-by-side screenshots, one of Meghan lamenting media intrusion, the other of her on a late-night talk show. Couch the Punchline wrote itself. Even Disney animators joined the meme wave, sketching tongue-in-cheek fan art of cartoon. Meghan holding a sign that toggles between "we want privacy" and "now streaming worldwide." The humiliation wasn't just personal, it was systemic. For brand strategists, the takeaway was brutal. Authenticity markets better than artificial scarcity. And once the public senses performative vulnerability, satire will cannibalize the storyline faster than any negative headline. With blood in the water, comedy sharks went into a feeding frenzy. Jimmy Kimmel riffed that the couple's next project should be titled "Keeping Up with the Kardashians," then rolled fake teaser footage of Meghan pitching perfume called O.D. Introspection. Jimmy Fallon escalated the bit with a mock game show, Name That Privacy Violation, complete with cardboard, Harry's waving memoirs, and a spinning prize wheel labeled Tell All, docuseries, and cease and desist. Trevor Noah, usually sympathetic to royal woes, deadpanned that requesting privacy during a Netflix close-up is like starting a juice cleanse at a Krispy Kreme drive-thru. The ridicule didn't stop at late night. Saturday Night Live devoted an entire cold open to a Sussex influencer masterclass, in which an exasperated producer begged the animated royals to stop live streaming their meditation retreat. Catherine Ryan, once a Sussex cheerleader, told her telling everybody everything listeners that the duo had jumped the sincerity shark, then sold the surfboard on Etsy. Mark Maron blasted the hypocrisy on WTF, wondering aloud whether Harry's next evolution was vlogging from a sensory deprivation tank sponsored by Goop. Because laughter is contagious, ordinary TikTokers piled on, syncing the worldwide privacy tour jingle to everything from roommate arguments to dentist drills. A duet trend saw creators pop up beside the cartoon Meghan, miming exaggerated shock each time she shrieked, "We want privacy." One creator racked up 12 million views by overlaying the chant on footage of paparazzi chasing an empty Uber. What could have been a two-day flare-up ballooned into a cross-platform carnival, proving that once entertainers parody you and audiences parody the parody, no heartfelt Instagram post can stitch the narrative back together. Legal analysts declared South Park's Lampoon a textbook case of transformative parody. Bulletproof against defamation or likeness claims? But culture critics argued the broadcast did far more than entertain. It performed a public service audit of celebrity hypocrisy. Morning Consult's nationwide poll, fielded a week after the episode, found Meghan's favorability down 7 points and Harry's 5 the steepest. Single-week drop since their Oprah confessional. Yet raw polling only hinted at the deeper shift. Sentiment tracking firm Brandwatch scraped 42 million English-language posts and discovered that neutral mentions had tipped negative for the first time. While the positive bucket splintered into a new subcategory they labeled guilty amusement, a shade normally reserved for reality TV villains. Media literacy professors at Columbia USC and King's College London rushed to add the episode to Spring Syllabi as a living case study on performative vulnerability. Even corporate comms teams took notes. One leaked Slack thread from a Fortune 100 brand warned execs to run the South Park stress test on any partnership that leans hard on moral messaging. In effect, 2 cardboard cutouts reset the bar for authenticity across the influencer economy, and the Sussexes discovered that once satire crystallizes a critique, no glossy headshot or humanitarian soundbite can dissolve it. Fast forward to early 2025. A leaked Comedy Central sizzle reel flashes a 2-second shot of the animated Prince and Princess of Canada standing beside a smoldering maple leaf flag, while Stan mutters, "Again," and royal reporters lose their collective minds. Tabloids speculate about a full-blown cartoon Canadian coup, while anonymous Sussex aides whisper about preemptive reputation triage. Meanwhile, Trey Parker and Matt Stone remain silent, holed up in their 48-hour writer's bunker. Secrecy ritual. So legendary Netflix once tried to film a doc about it, only to be turned away at the door. Content farm YouTubers churn out storyboard predictions. Harry launching a meditation app called Head SSH, Meghan unveiling a fragrance called Authenticity that smells like eucalyptus and NDA paper. Megyn Kelly, never one to pass on fresh ammunition, schedules a live watch party and teases special guest roastmasters from across the political aisle, proof that Sussex fatigue now unites commentators who agree on little else. Thumbnails shouting South Park did the right thing again. Spike before Comedy Central even announces an air date. and the hashtag cartoon clapback hashtag racks up 90 million TikTok views in 3 days, eclipsing the rollout for The Crown's series finale. In a digital era where anticipation monetizes almost as well as the episode itself, the mere hint of another animated skewer exerts more gravitational pull than any palace press release. While animators sharpen pencils, the Sussex commercial engine grinds through molasses. Spotify has walked, Netflix has quietly slashed production budgets, and trademark filings for everything from wellness powders to eco-travel apps languish under legal opposition. One Arkewell insider leaked a slide deck outlining a new South Park index, an internal risk metric scoring each venture's memeability projects, ranking above 60 trigger. An automatic crisis comes review. Investors feel the chill. A West Coast VC, who once touted the couple as the next lifestyle empire, now confides that the brand's upside is capped by its satire premium. The extra volatility baked in whenever public perception can pivot on a single gag. Social analytics bear him out. Across Instagram, average engagement per Sussex post has fallen 28% year-over-year, but negative sentiment comments have quadrupled, creating what PR gurus call a toxicity spiral that throttles organic reach. TikTok's algorithm, famously allergic to audience drop-offs, now suppresses Sussex tagged uploads, unless controversy keeps watch time afloat. A perverse incentive that rewards drama and punishes neutral charity updates. And inside Hollywood deal rooms, the conversation has flipped. Where once execs asked, how big is their star power? They now ask, can we afford the backlash if Cartman notices? For a couple who once commanded room-clearing fees and A-list cachet, the harshest reality is this: the most influential gatekeepers of their future might not be studio chiefs or magazine editors, but to irreverent cartoon creators armed with construction paper cutouts and a filing cabinet full of jokes. In a culture where memes accelerate faster than press releases, the Sussexes learned the hard way that satire can calcify public opinion long before a glossy rebrand can melt it. South Park distilled years of skepticism into 22 irreverent minutes, and Megyn Kelly magnified the blast for millions. Hungry for candid commentary, together they forged a pop culture echo chamber loud enough to drown out Arkewell press releases, podcast trailers, and even palace intrigue. So here's the billion-stream question: can Meghan and Harry remodel their image before season 27 drops? Will another animated salvo nail shut the coffin on their credibility and spook every investor from Hollywood to Silicon Valley? The window for a redemption arc is narrowing. Modern audiences grant second chances, but seldom thirds, and algorithms have no sentimentality at all. If the couple can pivot from grievance to genuine value, think venture capital that funds disaster relief instead of disaster optics, they might yet flip the storyline. If not, their legacy could settle into permanent punchline status, referenced in media ethics courses alongside the Fire Festival in Cats 2019. Let me know below, are you rooting for a Sussex comeback, or stocking popcorn for the encore roast? And remember, each deep dive demands painstaking hours of Nielsen spreadsheets, trademark hunts, and frame-by-frame meme autopsies. If you crave more unsweetened scorekeeping, hit subscribe, ring that bell, and stay tuned. Because in a world where image cashes the checks and satire keeps the receipts, someone has to audit the balance sheets.